What's up, Roulette Fools? Brent with AOB here. The Big 5-0. We're turning the Big 5-0. Day number 50. We ended up yesterday having a great day, $31.10. That puts us at $711.90. So I'm very, very happy with where we're at right now. So let's get underway. And yesterday we played Scouser, and that's a 27 number coverage system, and it was a $2 total bet. Now on his, you're using a unit size of 10 cents, and then you're placing 2 units on the 0-2, 2 units here, 2 units on the streets, 3 units on the corner. So it's a little bit different in terms of when you say units, because that one started with. So to be equivalent here, I'm using, we're $1.98. We've got a 22-cent bet here, but to match it up when I tell you what the payouts are, we're putting 2 units on each street. So our unit bet is actually 11 cents. I know. Normally I would just say our unit's 22, but I want to compare and contrast the 2 9-street systems. Let's get our timer going. So because he had 2 units here, 2 units here, and then 3 units, we're going to emulate the same and pretend, okay, what happens if we do 2 units here? Normally I call it 1. So whereas his paid 7 units on corners, 4 units on streets, and it paid a banger on the 0-2 of 16 units. This one pays a flat 6 units. Now, if I weren't comparing, we all 9 streets actually pays 3-1, pays 3 units. And we'd be looking at this as a 22-cent unit. Okay. So so I'm just trying to level the playing field. And we just martingaled a traditional martingale with his. And a couple times when the bet kind of got big, we did bring our bets down to sort of protect our progressions. I'm going to try to play this exactly the same way as much as I can. I'm going to just straight up martingale. If we get down deep and we're coming back and I get fairly close to recovery, I will pull the bets down a little bit to protect our progressions. Progressions are life, right? So let's see where this goes for us. All right, here we go. And we're going to keep it there on the second progression. And this will actually get us into profit because it's a 3-to-1 ratio. We doubled our bet. That gave us 2 out of the 3 that we needed, right? So if you flat bet and you lose and you just leave your bet the same, you'd have to win 3 times on this strategy just to break even. Okay, because it's a 3-to-1 payout and it takes 3-to-1 to recover. By doubling it, that takes 2 of those 3 that we needed. Okay, so now we only need 1 unit. All right, here we go. So now that we have lost twice, we're flipping over to the other end, and that's just how I chose to play this. I have Centipede 1, Centipede 4, and Centipede 3. If you're just new to joining us, please go back. You can look up. I've posted a clickable card, usually at the beginning of the videos, showing you day 1 video. Go back and watch day 1 because these are all better explained. You can also look in the description of the videos down below, and I have links to videos that specifically cover these strategies, okay? All right, here we go. We're going to leave our bet the same. So yesterday, I was telling you, I don't look at a strategy just on how much profit can I make off of it. I think you also have to take in consideration all the other elements, which is what was your biggest bet that you had to do? How deep in the hole did you go? And you have to factor. So we could make $100 on a unit, but what if that strategy, or we can make $100 on a strategy, but what if that strategy took us really deep into the weeds many, many times where we were on the brink of extinction there, right? So that's a risk versus reward type thing, and you'll have to make up that decision. But yesterday, our biggest bet was $32, and our biggest deficit was $12.50. Luckily, that deficit came after we were up in positive territory quite decently. So the fall was more than $12.50, but we went under water level, sea level there. We went into the negative overall to $12.50. So let's see how we do here. And we're on a good run. Now, I'll tell you this right now. And by the way, we have a $100 bankroll, same as we had yesterday. This is the second time I'm recording this video. All right. the first time that I just recorded it and finished a little bit ago, we absolutely crushed this session. But then I looked down at my balance and realized I had left my actual whole entire balance that I normally play with in there. And I'm like, okay, that sucked because, like I said, we had an amazing first session. But you know what? I have confidence in this, and I have no problem running back. So for those of you who want to say, see, I told you he reruns it, he'll replay things. It wasn't because I lost. It was because I forgot to put the correct amount of balance. I just left my entire balance up there. So we'll see. All right, here we go. Here we go. Remember, I'm doing 22-cent units, or we'll call them 11-cent units to match it up. But 22 cents, that gets us with a bet of $1.98. That gets us very, very close. It was $2 total bet with David's Scouser strategy. And we did very well on it yesterday. So it's just a matter of preference. And I like having variety. Variety is good, right? So, but overall, I like having the preference if I had the two, because they both cover 27 numbers, because they both roughly have a $2 starting bet. Of the two, I'll take this one because, like I said, if we compare them, his corner bets paid 7 units. His street bets paid 4 units. This pays 6 across the board. So only 1 less than his best, but 2 more than his worst, than his least. And I was trying to sort of keep it poetic. But he has the 0-2 bangers, those 2 numbers, which I believe do 16 units. So he's got that little nice banger there available. So, and some of you that like playing with things like that with banger numbers, that's a great strategy for you. Now one of the downfalls to me on that strategy, or strategy similar, and it's not really a downfall, it's just is you can't play it on the French table with Le Partage and take extra advantage of the 0. This one you could, and I was going to go play on the French table, but then we wouldn't be comparing apples to apples, right? But on this strategy, you can take advantage by putting, instead of these 6 individual 6 street bets, you put all these bets right here, 1 to 18, you put those 6 bets right here on 1 to 18. And that's 6 out of 9 of your bets. 2/3 of your money is on an outside bet that if it hits 0, you're going to get half of that 2/3 back. That's huge, especially if your bets start getting large. So to me, the advantage on this one, whereas he gets the 0-2, this is a slight advantage if you want to go that direction. All right, thanks, table. I believe that was 2 losses. So yeah. There we are. So we're at a $7.92. So yeah, it wouldn't have been fair for me to go play on the French table and reconfigure this, even though it would be the exact same bet, same coverage, same payouts up top. I would be getting money back if it hit 0, but that would be on a completely different table. We played it on this one, so I'm going to play it on this one as well and see how it goes. Okay, there's 1. So now we're gonna grab 3 hits here. We're gonna need 3 hits here at this point. And the cat wants back in. Okay, let's see if we can put a string together. And again, when I'm playing, for me, this is a very, very low bankroll. I much prefer playing on these speed tables than get 50% back on the 0. It's worth it to me. But when I play with much bigger bets, and I'm playing a strategy that can do it. Okay, so we're gonna do what we did yesterday. I did bring it down. So I'm gonna bring it down. Let's see. 2 units. What was our high? 462. Yeah, we're going to go down to the second progression here. And I did that too yesterday. There's no reason for me. Progressions are life, right? So I don't want to leave my my bet high because I don't need to go into profit that much, which it would give us a nice hit into profit, but I would rather have the progressions back because of this. Okay. Now I believe we should have been at that end, and I went back to Centipede 1. We should have been staying on Centipede 4. We would have just won. So me not paying attention because I'm talking too freaking much again. But that's okay. That's okay. By this point in the first video that I recorded, we were already up over $8 by this point. I mean, we were on course. Oh my gosh. You gotta be freaking kidding me. All right. If I had just right now, if I had been playing it right, we would not be in this position. But that's how the cookie crumbles, man. That's how the cookie crumbles. Ugh. And I've been telling myself, I've been trying to tell you, pay attention to what you're on, but it is kind of hard talking to you guys, explaining some stuff, and at the same time, keeping track of my progressions. And especially when I'm doing 2-2-2 follow the winner, when all right, here we go. We are at a $31 and $31.68. This is very close. Yesterday, our biggest bet was 32. We had the advantage of being up higher in profit. So the deepest below sea level, that one went was 1250. We're already at 2376. So like I said, had I played it and stayed there, these would all be wins. And then the 7 would be our first loss. All right, there we go. And we're going to stay right here. We're going to stay right here. And we'll definitely be keeping it at this level for 3 hits, which is a bit scary, right? Because we got $100 bankroll and we're at $31. We don't have enough. And I think that happened to us yesterday where we weren't going to have enough for a last progression because we couldn't double it. And luckily we won and we got enough. If I'm remembering correctly, I think that happened to us. And we ended up getting that win and having enough for another one. So we'll have that now. We got a $31 bet. So we have enough to martingale one more time and see if we can't get out of jail with that one. So we could have definitely brought our bet back because this is going to win it's going to win $10.56. 3 of these, right? 352 times 3. It is going to win us back 1056, I believe, if we can win. There we go. Whew. All right. We got that. So let's see. We were definitely on C4. I'm going to double check and make sure we're on the same thing here. All right. So mistakes can be costly. Now, that kind of mistake where I'm not following the winner properly, I don't really put too much into that type of mistake because it could hit down low as well. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Placing bets on the wrong, areas or the wrong amount per chip, those things are the mistakes that really, really cost you. Man, I swear these cats in, out, and I accommodate them. I'm doing the same thing as people that have bratty kids who tell them, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. If you don't stop, you're not getting a giant bowl of ice cream tonight. Okay, well here, if you have the bowl of ice cream, will you stop it? That's what I feel like parenting is these days. Okay, here we go. All right, that's a whack. All right, it's not going to be perfect. We're staying here for another bet. One thing on this that you never, ever, ever want to do when you're playing 9 streets like this, it will totally wreck you. You do not want to the part that it will. You don't want to do that because if you start looking and you start putting then it could. Oh my gosh, God, this wheel. All right. So just just keep an eye on that and make sure that's something you're being aware of, because that's something you definitely don't want to do. All right, here we go. Okay, I can't do that to you guys. Here's what happened. I was in Discord today in one of the community voice channels, and Tamarin, one of our members, she's also here on YouTube making comments. She asked me and said, yesterday, you said something like punches in lunches. That's my best South African accent. I'm sorry, I'm butchering that. It's punches in bunches, okay? And that just means when you get hit or whacked in this case, you get a lot of them all at once, right? Punches in bunches. So she was like, her and her partner were trying to figure out, what is he saying? And I'm like, yeah, punches in bunches. Okay, phew. So 792, our high is 858. I'm definitely going to bring my bet back. I'm going to bring it back to progression number 2. So then I was saying, ooh, I should do that on a video. I should just kind of murmur something and keep talking and people are like, what? What did he say? And then she further encouraged this by saying, oh, tell him you have the best tip, or don't do this, or do this. And then kind of murmur. And people are being like, huh? So, all right. There we go. We're doing well. We're at 15 minutes. So blame it on Tamarin, not me. I'm also a victim. Okay, here you go. We're going to stop it here. $9.24 after one session. Really, really nice. Even this deep dip, we recovered it very nicely. And it's kind of one of the reasons why I prefer straight up 9 streets over Scousers, because on Scouser, you have those street hits that only give you 4 units profit instead of, in this case, we get 6. And he has his corners that pay 7 units, but that's only 1 more unit. I would rather have the same payment across the board. Again, he does have the 0-2 banger. All right, that's it. Yeah. We'll be back. Cheers. All right, fools, let's get back at it here again. I think what I'm going to do for this second session is we're going to stick with Centipede 3. I'm not going to go end to end. I'm just going to stay with Centipede 3 to explain that to you all that may not have gone back and watched the videos. Naughty, go back and watch the videos. I call this Centipede just because they're all in a row, like a centipede, right? Like a centipede insect. So when I say Centipede 3 or Centipede 1 or Centipede 4, it means where does the first bet start on what street in from the left? So this is 1, 2, this starts on the 3rd street, the 7, 8, 9 street. So I call it Centipede 3. Okay. And that way it's kind of easier when you're talking to people, because there's really only Centipede 1, 2, 3, 4. Because when you get to Centipede 4, you're covering from here to the very end. So there's Centipede 1 through 4. What we were playing just now, right, in this first session was Centipede 1 and Centipede 4, which is leaving both ends, either the first 3 or the last 3 streets, open. Now I'm playing Centipede 3. I'm just saying, you know what? Let's be lazy on this session. What happens if we just stay in the same place? And, we can always take a pause. Something that's not a bad idea, folks. If you're playing something like this, that's fairly a static strategy, and there's nothing dynamic about it. There's no changes or whatever. Now, we all know that you can become dynamic by changing strategies. You don't have to stay, but let's just say you're going to play just a strategy, just like yesterday. While we could move corners and streets around, for the most part, that's just a static strategy where we're just leaving it as is. You don't, and I've talked about this in the past. I could set my $100 and go, I'm going to play until I cannot play anymore, which means when I'm done, I may still have a balance, but it wasn't enough to double my bet after I lost. Or you can put small breaks in. And I like this as well. We're time boxing in 15-ish minute increments, right? But I I also like the idea of if you get 2 losses in a row, just take a quick break. Just leave 5 minutes, 3 minutes, go get a drink of water, go up. In between these sessions, I did some body weight squats and I'm going to do push-ups. Even though I got my workout in today, just get up, move, get away, get off of this desk. Okay. We're a very sedentary society now for the most part globally. So get up, move around. I have a standing desk, so I'll raise it up and I'll stand for a while. And then I will bring it back down when my back starts to hurt. Okay, here we go. So we're going to stay static even though it hit a 3. Now, I feel for whatever reason, Prag 10s can tend to hit. So if it hits another 3, maybe I do take a break or even just let it spin out a couple until it would have won here. Does that mathematically make a difference or whatever? No. But I would much rather lose where it hits the 3 twice. I sit out for a couple spins, go in, and it hits the 3 again, than keep betting and it keeps hitting the 3 over and over and over again, right? That's just me. That's just me. I'd rather lose that way. At least I feel like I did something. And speaking of, we talk about strategies, and I spoke about this quite a while ago. And as we're sitting here, as I'm telling you about getting yourself healthy physically, mentally, all that stuff. And that's why I really, really like those 15-minute increments where you work, you do for 15 and you don't have to only take a 15. My preference is you go do something for a couple hours, but I think that helps the longevity of your mental wellness when you're gambling. But the physical aspect, oh crud, we're going back down to base bet. Okay. But the other aspect, if you're going to do any kind of other type of activity, what they have found is if you link that activity with some sort of trigger, you are more likely to continue doing that on schedule. So for example, I say, I want to do 10 push-ups at the top of every hour. Okay, great. Set an alarm. And I do this, by the way, but I set an alarm for the top of every hour. My alarm goes off. I do 10 burpees. But what they found is if I were to do my burpees every time something else happened, and I'm not talking about my watch going off, for example, every time I use the bathroom, when I'm done, I'm going to come out and do 10 burpees. They found by linking those things together, you are more apt to follow through on that. And I believe it because you sort of start associating this activity with this other activity, and it just starts to become natural. And pretty soon, if you do that enough, sort of like Pavlov's dogs, right? Where he rang a bell every time before he fed the dogs, pretty soon he could just ring the bell and the dog starts salivating. Pretty soon you're going to use the restroom, or if you go fill up your water bottle, or you go check the mail, I don't know, whatever it is, you're going to need to find something that's frequent enough that all right, 1 and a 3. Awesome. So here we go. All right. We're at 792. Let's see if this wheel will get us out of here. I'm always really hesitant on static strategies on the Prag tables. I just, for whatever mojo reason, they just tend to repeat a lot. And this really worries me when I'm leaving these double streets open here and that street open down there, that it's just going to go on this run of hitting all these. And now it's going to the other end. Thank you. All right, here we go. All right, we're at a $15.84 bet. Now, let's explore our options right here. Timeout, pretend. We freeze time. You're only down 66 cents. You don't have to bet 1584. You could drop your bet way back and go to the second progression and start playing from the second progression on and see if you can get on a nice little win streak instead of going, okay, I'm going to go 1584. So there's some options you have around this. When we're only down 66 cents, you don't have to necessarily look at this. Dang, burn it. I'm telling you, these Prag tables are like this, man. That's why in my own personal time, I don't play. I rarely play the Prag tables anymore. It's just my experience. I don't do well. But Look at that. 1, 3, 35, 3. All right, here we go. We've got a $31 bet. Yesterday, it's interesting. Yesterday, our biggest bet was 32. So we're right there. And I believe yesterday we didn't have enough to do one more, and luckily we won. So we were able to do another bet. So there we go. All right, we're going to repeat. Let's go. So we've had 2 big dips here, and it's to be expected. 1, 2, 3. I mean, it's really only 3 losses. So we're definitely, again, punching way above our bankroll amount, right? Because we only have a couple progressions, and really, you should be having more. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with taking the $100 and going play it however I want. Oh no! Oh, that is a win. I thought that was a 2. All right, we need another one, folks. Let's cross our fingers. This is paying what? 9. This is paying $10.56. It's a $3.52 bet. We get 3 of these if we win. So 352 times 3, 1056. So let's cross our fingers here. We can get it. 1056. Where we're at 4. Our high was 13. This would just get us a little bit into profit. We could have stepped back one level to 15 and asked for another win or 2. That's not a bad way to do it if you're playing here. And I actually would recommend that. If I had to do it all over again, that's what I probably would do. Instead of getting this nice big win, I probably would have stepped my bet back 1 unit, and that would have got me pretty close to break even. And then I would just gone back down to base bet. Because you're giving yourselves those progressions back. And to me, even more so when you're talking about high coverage systems where you should be winning more often than you're losing, that one extra progression that you're saving yourselves, that could be the difference between busting or meeting your daily target, right? Or at least breaking even for the day. So just something to consider. And I'll try to, I don't want to do it here because I didn't play that way yesterday, but well, I did play that way when we got close. I did step my bet down a little bit, but I will try to play that way moving forward and go, okay, we're very close. Let's protect our progressions. And as I said many times, you get too conservative with it and you're never going to recover, because we are here to profit. Make no mistake, even though that's a nice to have target, we are here to make money. This is our life plan, right? Our life plan is to figure out how much money do we need each day. We're here for profit. This is not, we are not being altruistic. We are not doing community service here, right? We are not philanthropists other than to ourselves here, right here. So, okay, there's a loss. That's okay. It's okay to lose as long as you win the big ones, right? So, and we won the big ones 3 times in a row there. So that's okay. But we are here to win. So again, I've mentioned it, and that's sort of a little bit of sorcery deciding on what you do. And that goes back to day 1 and day 2 and day 3 when I was really trying to hammer home. You can try to copy and do everything someone else is doing, whether it's me or it's somebody else. 35. Oh, phew. I was like, again, because last time it whacked us, then it hit us 35. What was that? Yeah, remember it hit a 3 here, then a 35, then a 3 again. I'm like, not again. So right now, if I were playing this the way I was playing the 100K challenge when I was doing 9 streets, if I lose once, I double, I win once, I bring it back to base bet, I win once. It gives me that one progression back. Now, instead of going to profit on the second hit, I would only break even. I'm okay with that. Because that extra progression is valuable. But here again, we're going to play it just like we did. We're almost at 15 minutes. So, I'm not leaving my bet like that. All right, here we go. And when it's all said and done, maybe I'll do a little cash and burn at the end of this strategy. Maybe I'll do a little cash and burn. Again, if you didn't go back to the very beginning and you're not familiar, that's the term that I came up with, meaning you take your profit from that session. 3 again. Are you kidding me? Arr. And yes, I know sometimes it feels like it's hitting a lot. I mean, there's a 3, but look at down there. It's hit the 3. Oh my gosh, I don't have the, how does that not have that again? How did that get off there? Oh my gosh, okay. The scene's all messed up. All right, you know what? You guys haven't had so far. Oh, that's how stupid I am. The history's down here. Prague has made 2 different versions of their table layouts. Get your shit together, Prague. They have some tables where they have the history down here. And now some tables, they've changed the layout of the favorites and stuff like that. And the favorites are now underneath, right behind me, underneath the favorite tiles. It's like, seriously? And if you're testing, how long does it take you to test, you schmucks? All right, here we go. Great. Just beautiful. All right, we're at 792. Now, the nice thing is if you look at this graph, we lost, we won 1, we lost, we doubled again. So our recovery is going to be really nice here when we get a hit here because we have 1. It's not as if we won 2 in a row. We lost one, won 1, lost another one. So we have a little bit of profit in there. So even though we've continued to double here, when we do win, the recovery is going to be easier. All right, 23. There we go. 25, close enough. All right, let's repeat. And maybe, I don't know, maybe it's because I have it on that view. I don't know. I'm just so excited about talking to you guys. This is like sort of like our book club, right? We just get together every day and we hang out and we discuss what happened in that chapter. In this case, it's session. It's a session. You know, did someone fall in love and why did she break up with him? Because she thought he was dead, but really he wasn't dead. That was his evil twin brother that was dead. Okay. These are the days of our gambling lives. Now, I could say our money is like sand in an hourglass, but it's not. But it's not. You know what? Oh, get off that first street. 1 through 6. Come on. All right, here we go. All right, 15 minutes. Let's recover. Let's get back up and we'll call this session number 2. Very, very happy. Look, we're going to be somewhere around $50. 4 sessions is $30, right? And I mean, our 18 and 35, that is not good. Ratio wise, this table was not good to us today. I mean, we should be having a 3-to-1 ratio. This is a 2-to-1 ratio right now. Okay, that's as if we were playing 2 dozens. All right, we're gonna rebet. Here we go. If we win this will get us back, and actually it'll get us into profit, 1 base level profit, which is 3 units, which is 66 cents. So let's go. Come on, give us a win so we can end this session nice and neat and don't have to keep going deeper into our pockets here. All right, there we go. That's a 12. That's a victory. All right, there we go. We're ending at 1848. A very nice, I mean, we had a couple sessions, but these are really only 3 losses. You got to expect even more than that. So it's very important that you check out your progressions, make sure you have enough. I mean, overall, I wouldn't play consistently with this amount of balance and this unit size of bets because we don't have enough progressions to sustain that. But if you do start getting up, these are things that you can do. And we talked about it yesterday. Keep $100 bankroll. I'm planning on just playing with $100 bankroll now for a while. Even though my balance is growing and I could do more, that $100, as we discussed yesterday, becomes a smaller and smaller percentage of our bankroll. So if we do lose it, I'm losing far less than I was 2 weeks ago. All right, I'll be back for the last session. Cheers. Okay, fools. Last session. Here we go. We're going to stick with today. This one will be a motley. We'll just do whatever we want. Centipede 1, Centipede 3, Centipede 4. We'll just be very fluid. And if it hits like a 34, 35, 36, we'll flip over to Centipede 4. If it hits a 1 through 6, we'll go to Centipede 1. We'll just wing it and see how it's going. Again, we are at a 2-to-1 ratio, which is absolutely terrible for the coverage that we're doing. Yesterday, with the same coverage, we did very well. We had actually just slightly higher than a 3-to-1 win-loss ratio. So that one was pretty spot on with the coverage that we got. I think we've gotten some unfortunate little sessions here, but overall we've done really well. We're at $19.40. So I'm hoping we can get this thing up. And at this point, again, that nice to have, I could finish the day right here at $19, and I'm totally happy with that. That's a game. Now, something I would like to remind you about, when we first started this, our daily target, I'm looking back at my chart here, our daily goal, right, was $5. That was the nice to have, $5. And right now it's $35, 7x in 50 days. So our daily, remember I told you it's going to start out slow, but then it's going to start picking up because our bankroll is going to be getting bigger and you're going to see those profits more and more. It's 7 times right now is our nice to have daily goal. I just want you to let that sink in, because getting started, it may seem like things are so far away, but it doesn't take long, and we're getting these victories and our losses, but we're recovering or we're doing it right, that you're going to start looking back in your rearview mirror going, wow, I'm doing 7 times more. Can you imagine another 50 days from now? Do another 7 times 35, right? That will be your daily. So if you're looking at this, and I look at this and go, we started out with $100 bankroll, and now we're making $35 a day or $20 a day, someone in there. You get the point. It's pretty phenomenal what you can do if you're just slow and steady and you follow the process. It does not take long. Listen, life goes by quickly. So any type of, we all know, if it's too good to be true, it usually is. And get rich quick schemes, right? So yes, we can go all in with our money and place bigger bets and get there. But I promise you, if you do that, you're going to end up wiping out, and you're going to be much further behind with having to add more money. Stick to the plan. And for me, I'm showing you guys the 5% nice to have daily target. That's not what I have another column, which is mine, which is just a strict flat amount for 7 days. And then I increase it. So right now, whereas this one is looking at 35.60, I just today increased it because this is the 8th day. I do it for 7 days. It was previous to this, it was $30. I was doing $30 flat, and now I just upped it to $35 for today. Nice to have. But as the week goes by, if we're doing well and my bankroll gets bigger, that 5% grows, I'm capped at 35. I don't even look at this column. I'm only showing you this column, the 5%, because it's easier to show you guys, and that's something that you guys are going off of. So if you're looking at it, and I actually, in thinking back, I wish I would have told you, and I did kind of say it, but 3 to 5% is a very attainable. Put it at 3%. Put your daily target at 3%. Especially, and you're thinking, well, I've been doing it at 5%. As your bankroll gets bigger and bigger, trust me, it's going to feel harder to get to that percent, that goal, because you could still have the same progressions. You could do everything. It's just mentally putting those bigger bets down, and you start losing 2 or 3 in a row. Those bets look and are so much bigger. You start going, oi, and that's not a bad thing. I want you to go oof on big bets. I don't want that to become just the run-of-the-mill bet for you. I do want you to do that. I'm glad we switched. I'm glad we switched to follow the winner here, because if we'd stayed on Centipede 3, we would have lost that one. And dang it, I didn't even double up. So we'll double up here, and that'll break us even. So that's okay. So anyway, just food for thought. Go look at your chart, get your history. And I feel really, really bad that I got that tracker, that roulette tracker for your challenge on our website with the tools there. And that some of you put your time to put that in there and then you don't have it available to you anymore. Awesome. Thanks, dude. All right, here we go. Double that. And I'm going to add 1 to it because we didn't get a double in the first one. Anyway, I'm sorry for that. I am working. I'm not going to be doing anything to the website just because I've already put enough money into it, but I do have some ideas of where I'd like to do, and I'll probably be doing a complete overhaul of the website. And I have my eye on making a dice game to emulate the dice that's here. It would be fake money, of course. So it'd be sort of a real playable simulator where you can increase your bets, lower your bets. It'll have a graph. But I'm sending out to prove that if truly I play dice with a true random, not rigged, I would destroy the casino. I would absolutely wreck the casino. So getting back to this, just keep an eye, and I plan on taking $100 balance and leaving it there. I don't care where we're at. I'm planning on, where were we at here? Centipede 4. I'm planning on, for a while, just playing with the $100 balance. And as my bankroll gets bigger, that $100 balance becomes a smaller and smaller and smaller percentage of my bankroll. I still need to, for the most part, figure out my progressions, make sure I have, even though I may be doing it a little bit more on the risky side with a little bit higher bets like I am today, where I don't have 6, 7, 8 progressions, right? I like the fact that if I do lose that 100, that's as many people in our Discord server have been doing, playing bullet type systems, and I'll show you. We'll play a bullet system like that coming up at some point here. But if I lose that $100, then that's okay, because I know I've been keeping it, really smaller than I needed to the whole time. And so at that point, I don't mind, if I want to, going back to the hole and grabbing $200 out to go into recovery if I want to. Boy, good choice of following the winner on this. Look at this. Ay, we are doing well. Okay, here we go. We're at $25. We're about halfway through our thing. And I told you I'm debating whether to do a cash and burn, but I'll wait till we're completely done. And then who knows, maybe I will do a couple $5 street spins with $5 units. If we can get lucky on a couple hits, great. If we don't, that's okay. I'm only going to play with the amount of profit I have. So if I do lose it, then at least I'm only losing the time, which isn't a small thing, right? I mean, it's your time, it's valuable, but that's one of those things where you're just gonna have to be okay with it if you decide to do cash and burn. But I know it's gonna happen with some of you. You're gonna do cash and burn, you're gonna lose it, and then you're like, oh, hell no. And then the chase begins, and then the casino will win. So if you do cash and burn or something similar, please just set it in your mind. All right, if I lose, I leave it and I come back the next day or later in the evening and I start my sessions all over again. Just let it go. Let it go. All right. We've got about, somewhere between 7 and 10 minutes left on this. And we did 3 sessions yesterday, so I'm going to do 3 sessions today. I want to say like one of the sessions went longer yesterday, but that's okay. That's okay. I mean, we are now starting to catch up. Yesterday we had over a 3-to-1 ratio. Today we have not been lucky. Now we're starting to get that direction. We're starting to inch back up towards the mathematical ratio that we should be. But in the meantime, overall, these dips, they seem huge, but they're really only 3 losses. And that's nothing, especially when you're playing 9 streets. Or even 5 double streets. 3 losses is very common. So just to make sure you guys all are aware, I know I'm playing with unit sizes that don't support the $100 bankroll. Okay. So I'm aware of that, and it's a risk that I'm willing to take. And here we go. All right, we're at 28.38, and we ended yesterday. We ended at 35.60. So these are getting really close to each other. These are getting really close to each other. And remember, that's what I was talking about, that the one thing I love about roulette is it doesn't matter how you jostle things around. At the end of the day, overall, your odds and your success, they wash out the same. So you can move things around and you can make it the strategies, this and that, but there's a price to pay for everything. And at the end of the day, no matter how you do it, it really comes out for the most part the same. Now, some of them I'll agree that I don't care for. Like I use the example of playing one number. Now, you have 35 chances at it. If you put 1 unit on there, you can do that for 35 times, hoping you're going to hit it. And some people do that, right? One number, and they'll go maybe 20 times, and then they'll increase it by 1 unit 20 times, then increase it. It's not my type of thing. All right, there's a loss. We're just going to follow straight away. We're just going to follow straight away. I'm not going to do the 2-2-2. We're just going to follow straight away on this. And if we get like a couple hits in the second dozen, I'll just switch to Centipede 3, because there's not going to be, or if it hits a 28, 29, 30. If we get whacked here on this fringe one, then I will switch to Centipede 3. Otherwise, we'll just follow. So we're just going to stay right where we're at. All right. Let's go again. So we got about another 5 to 10 minutes if we, not 10 minutes, but maybe 8 minutes if we want, but 5 minutes. We'll try to just sit here and just try to get straight on around 15 minutes. That'll give us roughly about a 45, 50-minute video. All right, let's go. And I haven't been catching up. I've been super swamped, so I haven't been able to get to see your guys' comments. I really will this weekend try to go through the comments and address any questions and respond to any kind of comments in there. All right, 29.70. We still got a few minutes. Again, we're making 66 cents per spin. So roughly two spins a minute. So let's just say $1. We'll just call it 60 cents, $1.20. Well, let's just go with the real. It's $1.24, right? $1.22. No. Is it, what did I say? 66? $1.32. Okay, there we go. Let's keep going here. 30.36. Let's see if we can get a couple more wins under our belt here and call it quits for the day. We're at $30. So 35.60 was our 5% nice to have. 35.60. We're right in there at 3 sessions, 3 15-minute sessions, and we're done. So again, to address some of the commenters out there that are coming in, oh man, you're betting too small. We're not betting too small. And in fact, for this particular bankroll where I'm only starting out with, I'm only risking $100 only. This unit size is too big. If anything, we should be bringing this down to 10 cent units. And if you have time at home, we've always said 3 to 5 sessions, that's what you got to be expecting. So if we were to play this at 5 sessions with 10 cent units, we'd have an extra progression and it would just take us slightly longer. All right, there we go. Booyah, booyah. All right, I sort of want to switch to Centipede 3, but we're just going to stay with it. Okay. All right. Let's go. All right, let's get a couple more wins and call it quits. We're at 31.68. This would put us at 32 something. Let's just get a couple more wins and we're going to call it a day. Boom. All right, 32, 34. Yeah, let's just get a couple more wins. We're only at 14.49. Let's give us a couple more wins and see what happens. And man, the weather's been really nice. It's been cold, but it's been clear and sunny here on the West Coast, at least where I live now. I live up higher elevation. My mom lives down lower in the valley, and so it's been socked in with fog all day yesterday when I was there. But here, because I'm higher, I get more sun. So I went out there this morning and, or as soon as the sun was kind of nice, I was like, my car has been dirty because it's been raining. I'm like, I'm going to wash my car. Well, let me tell you something. It looked sunny out there. It looked nice and warm. It looked like I should be out there in Daisy Duke shorts and suds, but it wasn't. It was freezing. So I was out there in my boots and a heavy jacket. I'm washing my car, but I'm glad I did because it was getting pretty gross. All right, there's a loss. All right, we're switching up. Oops, not 3. It's 1 too many. All right, there we go. All right, let's recover and call it quits here. I'll be very, very happy about this. Where was our high? What was our high here? 33. Okay. So let's see if we can get recovered here and call it a wrap here. So 2 wins. Looking for 2 wins here and finish up. Come on. Don't be a jerk and flop down to the other end. Okay, I saw that too, and I'm like, no. All right, there's Uno. Let's get one more. There's Uno. Let's get one more. And I tell you what, I've said this before. I swear, the older I get, time flies. I mean, in December, my daffodils were already like two inches above ground. It's January. They're like 6 inches, 6 to 8 inches above the ground. They're going to be blooming here. It's going to be spring. Then it's going to be summer. It's like, man, things are going by so fast. There we go. All right. We're going to end this at $33.66. Unfortunately, we got a deep one in the hole right off the bat. So we went down 23. Our largest bet was somewhere similar. It was 31.96. So yesterday, Dave is below water level. Dave went minus 12.50 with Scouser and a biggest bet of 32. We went almost a 32 as our biggest bet. We went deeper down here, but it happened earlier on instead of later on in the session. And we went down 16.50 at that point. So we 22, 44, 66, we almost got back to a 3-to-1 ratio. Things do even out. So if you can stick it out, things will start to even out. So we started out really poorly for most of our session. And then this very last session, we did very well from here to here. We went very well, but we had a really rough first part of the first session and first part of the second session, but we ultimately prevailed, got a really, really nice session profit. All right, that's it. Again, let me know in the comments if there's something that you'd like to see or a format change to this. I'm open. I always want to continue improving. So if there's things you think I can be doing differently that would display the information better or blah, 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 blah. And again, don't be afraid to put in there if you feel like I'm not covering the strategies and explaining them enough, let me know. But again, in the description, I put links to videos where you can go watch those specific videos and watch them play out. And I'm doing these over and over and over again throughout the next X amount of time. So you'll have plenty of time to check that out. All right, that's it. Be good humans. Kick the casino's ass. All of us against the casino. I hope you're doing really, really well. I'm hoping you're following the plan. And if you are, I'm hoping massive success for all of you. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.